my own luck.
Alright, welcome back guys to another Assassin's Creed stream. Today we're back with AC3, continuing the historical colonial saga. And yeah, now that we have finished with Rogue and started Liberation until Sequence 4, we can actually go and head back to Connor and kind of like play his teenage years until he fully joins the Brotherhood. So yeah, that's what we will be focusing on today, and if we still have some time, then we're also gonna be starting more of Liberation up with Sequence 5 and 6 as well. Also, hey Italian, good mornings, and hey Max, thank you for the lurk. Yeah, I mean, we're never finished with Rogue Italian. It's like a constant, you know, praise we give to it.
Segunda che na quasi wahi.
Gats, ingeni dasseraya. Oyaner mangeni wanundo se edeni roro ke tinohoda de dom ne ayogara we ori wage. Andi jadassa wane edeni sto zeraroro ke. Amando enega ne toda di jatka tuni we ne ayedeni ti na kwatsari. Wasqueni. Ja, zodzi de want rehne wahi.
Oh, the gun his guts not the owner.
Ja.
Really love the inclusion of the Mohawk language. And it's also like pretty accurate as well.
17 months. So many months. Crook 1 Leland, Crook 1 Happy Etsia, Crook 1 Happy Etsia, Crook 1 Leela Lodms Love Odmsel.
Autumnson. Thank you so much, Levy, for the 17 months of resubbing. I appreciate it. Long time no see.
Huh, zezak tinuwe yo dikunde. Zahaga yo yanere.
Yum zaskats.
Nekti doni gari was tonayo tuhage. Nona ska guidene ne, the wasa gayeri ni hadi runungwe kaa ta hunana dakwage. So knona askana nage ne, ta de watna neda. Iga gar hagunsu hundoratu, kaa hunzage hundaditaru. Garu ne zosera aska de wanyawa na hadihage. Yahte skari was ta yunki yakwa daze te.
Segun ino tumnes.
Ha, nekti zaha akta da hunenu haje. Te dun zohun jokna e de waire. Toga yaho tena tai de waire, toga yah tai de waderio, to arena zawane.
Tokni kuhak. Wagerek tagari hunyani o nirt zia gerata.
Tigawanio, to agots yotti nakuni, zaha gasto zeriohage ziniotne oya.
Nek zia tamdo era ye de ne de negahondage.
Yahta diodun zohun unkae goderianderage wahi, how yungeni dogaski doga andeni gueni toya yedenewe, ne dosa ya yedini rada ne unzage.
Waderian dat trakson e giga.
Das kena gera.
Man, I love how they already established Connor as like, or Ratana Gideon, I guess, as kind of like somebody really thinks about, you know, the consequences of like what's happening to his tribe and others. Obviously because of what happened in childhood. A But yeah, you know, others of the tribe just try to kind of like ignore it, pretend like it's not an issue.
Quahnek Duxer.
Indeed. Yeah, the tree parkour is amazing in this game.
What, Zok?
Onio zia zidenewe. Iwerham getting on ratum.
Us.
Ratana.
Meow.
Okay, so we still can't touch the ground or the water here.
Ona deni Rata.
Zozi one dore.
Onioti isere zaha set satstege doga yacha sadatrege.
Nexi onayawan it doga atjada ne the nogihie.
Doga oya watti nakunyanyo akta satkan zera.
I like how they also made the like mountain climbing kind of natural and realistic. Like you can't just climb up everywhere, you just gotta look for these cracks and stuff. Like, you know, mountain climbing actually works. But like in the new AC games, so you can just like climb anywhere. Just like that. That accidental leap of faith.
Nahoda, what got ni guhroni?
Of course he did.
When you agwego yang geni haraunge. Ga ga der hard de zinora agwego a seroroge. Ga the ga isere ya the ga yeri zinigo yang geni. Don't go hard again. The ga ga the na on.
Alright. Let's collect some feathers, shall we? Climb up a flat wall. Yeah. Flat and smooth. Nothing better to climb on. Okay, we gotta find one more feather here. Hey, wer ist denn da? Welcome in. Indeed. Young Connor. Ratana Kiran himself. Hope you're doing well, Lucinda. Welcome in. Go up here. really like the music in this part of the game. You going alright? Just getting up and around? Yeah, must be quite early for you still, isn't it? I like how one of his feet isn't even on the tree there. Okay, there's a feather. But I can't go there because there's an enemy's wall. Amazing. I wonder if I could like go there and desynchronize so I still get it. Never mind. Worth a try, I guess. Or for science. Ah, god damn it, it reset my feathers as well. Never mind. Your normal wakey time, you wake up to Necro's alarm every weekday at 6 AM, get up by 7, at 7:20. Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely fair. Ah, never mind. I got 3 feathers now. Cool. Alright, let's go to Kanondokon. Yeah. I think it kind of like manually added the 2 feathers like one after the other. You don't mind it too much, you're a morning person anyway. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, I used to be a morning person as well. Exactly. Yes, I think we got full sync here, didn't we? Let's have a look again, just to make sure. Yeah. Nice.
I want to go into just on the honor.
Yeah, segu de dum zom mai deni wararoro ge danuga nehum.
I go here no want to take a director we are. Then it does 0 zuzi wagareso.
Anguri hunya, kanadakta ezot kudina gerenyo, toan di jadora de. Dum zom yo snore am dayo kwate. Yot kwenya sia kan heyate. Kaya danoru ne giga de ham tanega. Onek tia de waderi wa kwenyas tage ne sa oyera.
Yeah, one reason I love AC3 so much with the beginning is also like the difference between Haven and Connor. You know, like also where they grew up and kind of like the culture behind it as well. Like Connor literally growing up like, you know, in the nature. And you can also tell by how he treats, like for example, animals he has to hunt.
Dadenak dotas aunda sade sanuni. Toganze sadawate. Ande wadu nege negario. Tanu yan wadorat serayan datne.
I go next is in what it's sanio.
Ona andeni azere. Yo snore se wahragwe tarungo. Skena sua tanut kayeri. Yata o waru kok tat de zadum zoni. Nektiga nehum oni. Toga danzas teriha. Asi daksat anguna dun hasse ona onio zi asat karhara.
Exactly, listener. Yama.
Jojera tu onek tia se tsari zi nume guja darorox ne gundirio. Tio sumagaru de ti de wats kan hunkwa. zi kahnegi Ratha. Zezak ne gayendere matrori zi unwak to dundundawarye. Hatskwi, unwasti de hum tanega ga iweskwe.
Right, so we have a tool wheel where we can select all kinds of tools from throwing money to using a bait, a snare, and also the bow.
Hauki oya zijat karhara. Ganto zat karhara.
That's another thing I love, like the kind of in-depth hunting system.
Ne zaha gario dawana ye deniena zini gariwe sugenir hare.
It's an interesting fact, but the same team who did the wildlife and kind of like nature-based environments, like also with the deep snow and stuff, did the same thing for Red Dead Redemption 2. And you can definitely tell by like how realistic it is for the time the game has been released in. Like with animal behavior and like also just the physics of it.
Toidawes, so that's the nearest is honor.
Ya, kaya gwire dano gahure au naya anga daksa de ne ganehum. Negi gas kaya da gesnu sage angats de zi anjena. Onak tis kena asun a ange. Toga oskenundu ayungeniga amadego. Takwa de rorok.
You love hunting aspects of many games. You told Rod the other day if you ever played Red Dead 2, all you would do is go around doing hunting and collecting challenges and hoarding resources. I mean, I think then the game is for you because you can do a lot of it for the 100% checklist. Like Rod will also have to do so much hunting and collecting and stuff. Okay, so you can bait it here. And I'm going to use my fist to deal as little as damage possible to the pellet here.
Yo, buenas, the nearest you are serio. Yo, yanere.
Ona deni roroke zino hoda de odom zohum.
Just feel bad for the animals. Yeah, that's definitely fair as well. Especially if it's like made as realistically as in Red Dead Redemption. Okay, we actually have a couple entries here. Let's have a look at people. We have an update for Guts de Zio, the mother of Ratana Kiran. Guts de Zio's actions during the Baroque expedition, along with her relationship with a known Templar, more or less excluded her from becoming a clan mother herself in adulthood. However, it seems even after her child was born, she continued arguing for action in the war, rather than the restraint advocated by the village elders. She did, however, cut off all the contact with Haven. It's not clear why the Templars attacked in 1760, or what their objective might have been. The village was nearly destroyed but recovered over the course of several years.
Ang zejat ka zera na yung tkar harakwa. Timja tum zoni sego, nekti yatte zugini naktode. Onekti de deni zaru aja dorade. Toga idenere yat dae denokta.
Yahta wag der yon dare.
Kunye takwa, tazada de tak ni nize.
I kind of love how Ratana Kiran is almost like a mentor kind of to Kanan Tokon, who's like, you know, exactly the same age as he basically. But I guess it's also kind of like an indication of course, some of his Isu heritage, right? Like movement and stuff would come like faster to him, and also his senses are sharpened as well. Okay, so we can hunt more than one type of animal, combine bait and snare to catch an animal, and air assassinate animals here. Lots of hunting challenges. I'm gonna try to do the bait and snare first, I think, because it's most difficult to pull off. And the longer the mission goes on, the less chance you have of catching hares, which are more likely to go inside here and die. Don't want the here to go inside that wall. See if any other animal will come. Let's just leave it be and concentrate on another location. There were some foxes here. It would work. Okay, some foxes are coming. Wait, no fox went into the trap? Kidding me. Seriously? Shouldn't I have gotten the objective there? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. So that worked actually. Let's concentrate on air assassinating animals now. Also gotta make sure to find a hare. Also gotta get 3 different types of animals. Where we have foxes, there's usually also no hare. But the thing is, they will like actively hunt them, so... Okay, there's one. Nice. So after a while, there's not gonna be any hairs left, essentially. Okay, nice. One more air assassination and then we're done. No? Wanna go further here? Okay, thank you. Come closer. What the fuck? It's teleported away. Yeah, that's not how nature works.
Okay,
Okay, cool. It's other hunting done.
Kana dogu? Ona awa ne. Otku.
Whoops. Okay, let's get out of here. Way. Saw from my trap and decided to teleport away for the... yeah. Was like, nope. Not gonna fall for that. I really programmed these animals quite smart.
Agua gets honey, ge. Was get nyaga de. Nyawa.
Amze jahtandi ona. Ayaw siro najage hodi ni guhrayanda ne. Tinojera ya ezo de tiena.
Nektiato deot.
Oh niot.
Rat dukhawa hageri hunya.
Nice. Oh yeah, I think it's time to talk to the clan mother.
Akaterian dare Gizardi Hoye was Onogera Gia, Garha Gunchedeweta. Onogera Gia, Deatia Jatara near ne Oya Ganyoke Haga Ziwaterio. Uma was sundade dans Zaderi Huat Seraguase. Yohunjanorunge, Yunguadenadayan, Danune, Amha Junguaderi Wayani, ne Ayetia se Danisege, Unjunhuza.
Arahaja zidogane gando ayetiri hune ukiswas saha odisas taserayanda ne.
Yunguadora zene to naya de wayer hage. Yunguayat dodar he zinogayera ne de tiswat neda. Danu ne dogat to no de wayere yot deru ayunguajonha se.
Onujera zitoni yori hawana ne aidawada den hodu. Ona hoda tiga.
Kan hoha.
Oyane?
Greetings, Guardian.
Are you a spirit?
You may think of me as such.
Where am I?
You are where you were before. If you mean to ask what it is you now see, it is known as the Nexus. From here, probabilities are calculated so that the proper path may be chosen.
What path?
Yours. Follow me.
Love is part of a game.
What have you done to me?
Selected a form familiar to your culture. It is designed to ease navigation. We have waited millennia for your arrival. You, who will bring to him the last piece, that he may open the door.
I do not understand.
Nor need you. I sense my words cause pain. But such was not my intention. You are important, child, in more ways than you will ever know. As we speak, forces gather in secret, preparing to seize control of the land. If they succeed, the sanctuary will be breached.
Yeah, Juno talking in riddles.
Yours is a special lineage. Past, present, future. Many are connected to you. Many who have changed the world, who will change the world. So too shall you. I have called you here that you might know your duty. You must protect Sanctuary from those who would undo our work.
What sanctuary? What work?
Maintaining your current force will result in a negative outcome. Premature access will destabilize the region. Your village and its people will be destroyed.
What am I to do?
You will learn of a man who will provide additional training. Seek this symbol. No doubt you have many questions. Time will see them answered. For now, you must follow, leading later.
Nice. Still made it. I couldn't collide there for one more time, otherwise we would have to replay the entire mission. Hey there, Spectre. Welcome in at Ranch. Thank you for the follow.
But I need money, sir. I'm poor and sick and hungry.
Radun hage dun got nuwe ni satka tun tiga gari wayarunitstu.
Adun hets wagena duni. Wa garo di rungwe daya jadatka. Ahagena dun hase onio di akande. Da tune tiga runungwe. Izi na gahanda di tunes. Gariwe siwa gaderiandere. Tanu ize gi oni. Arahajo ziza detni go rizu ne dosa seri wayena.
Yungwar haratstu ne ayedewa dun hunjanuna. Nexti da sheri de nize. De ot danyu haje hunjage danu ya taundo ayungwa da se dunhage.
Ya ka atakitskoda danu agader harda dene ayede wanda ne.
Wa gunya do dari sigi owadu era osete.
Ohnu jera di desaderi huadenyani.
Aze gonya tak gweni daguri huadeni. Ya hasa giga. Ase tari jina hoda ze sakstit kada kunegans. Tonu e dagatka tone gari huayernitsto. Ne egi garun gwera hawi o yashnena zinio zizatnista hawa shagoshnena.
Yama.
Seria sadoga, nekti gets hani sudzi ezos are harde. Was sezakane gari huayronitstu, satahatsari.
Man, the writing is so good. It's like such a step up from Rogue and Liberation. I can really tell it's like a completely different team, you know, working on good AC games.
Leaving home was harder than I thought. I expected the journey would fill me with a sort of pride, a sense of accomplishment. But whatever it was that carried me away from home soon fled, replaced by questions, and no small amount of doubt. Had I been too hasty? Had I made a mistake? The others in the village, they thought this was something I wanted, something I chose to do. But it never felt that way to me. No, it was not a choice. It was an obligation. Because if not me, then who?
That's the thing, right? He doesn't do it because he wants to kind of like go away from home or something, or see, you know, more of a world or something, like kind of for reasons that would only be affecting him. He does it because, you know, he sees the danger that's coming to him eventually. He just doesn't want to sit around, you know, waiting for them to come and destroy his village yet again. So he decides to act. Remember playing AC3 for the first time, you felt Connor so lonely, thinking about Ezio's allies. Yeah, definitely doesn't quite happen as fast as with Ezio, that he finds allies everywhere. But I have to say, like, the more you play of the game, and if you do like all the Homestead missions, and then also all the Brotherhood missions, you definitely feel like you're growing your allies and kind of like, you know, get a family through those. But definitely depends more on the side activities, whereas in the Ezio Saga was more like part of the main story. But yeah, speaking of Homestead, that's where we're headed. Can't wait to unlock that. There's such a great feature in this game. Like, how it combines both gameplay and story together. And also feels very natural, like having, you know, people with like different kind of professions working together to build the place. And to kind of like start new lives. Connor's like, I can't just only run, I also have to do this move for extra training.
Get out of the way! After him!
There he is, Achilles himself. And yeah, this time he's actually gonna be written well as a character. And he's also gonna be completely different to how it was portrayed in Rogue. But yeah, that's the issue, I guess, with also having like so many different writers writing the same characters. It's kind of like also natural they wouldn't feel the same, I think. But obviously you can do a much better job, you know, doing like a good adaptation of an already existing character, and Rogue definitely didn't do that. I think I can actually take his horse and he's gonna be like pissed off. But given that his card already is broken, let's not ruin his day any further.
Hello.
Hello.
You must be one of them native fellas from the, what's it called? Iroquois tribe. Aye. You from that?
Course not, Terry. Iroquois ain't a tribe.
Is so.
Is not. The Iroquois is a confederation.
Confederate what now?
Ah, these two guys.
Confederation, ya Tony. It's a group, an alliance. Lots of different kinds of people all united.
Right. Like I said, a tribe.
Listen, you toddy-headed twiddlepoop. There's a difference between a tribe and a confederation, and it's not my fault your skull's too thick to make sense of it.
Who you calling a twiddlepoop, you crump-back scab? Hey now, this is between me and him.
Yeah, mind your business.
I mean, you started it. But yeah, Tyrion got free. There's gonna be a lot more of these situations happening between the two. But yeah, I love him. Also like a nice comedic relief sometimes. And there it is. And it looks so much better than in Rogue. Obviously this is a remaster version. But even like the base version of AC3 I felt looked kind of like just better together. I don't know. I reckon Rogue even had an advantage like texture wise, but it obviously doesn't make a game just beautiful. Having like high resolution textures. There's a lot more to that.
What?
I was told you could train me.
No. Go away!
I'm not leaving!
And I also love how the whole story starts out between Achilles and Connor. You know, like Achilles, of course, at this point, his brotherhood is dead. He's like all by himself in the homestead. You can really tell, you know, he's like not in the best of spirits, to say the least. He kind of has given up hope, you know, that anything could change. But yeah, that's why I love also the story so much between Connor and Achilles, because Connor really gives him hope, right? Kind of like makes him happy again in a way after everything he had to endure. At the same time, he gives like a father figure to
I need
Connor.
a place to camp. This should do.
Something Haven never really could give to him. You see Connor's a stomach sleeper? Yeah, I was surprised as well. I don't know, I'm more of a half stomach sleeper.
There must be another way in.
Yeah, I can't stand stomach sleepers, Jay. They're like inferior. Welcome in, dude. Hope you're doing well.
Please, all I ask is a moment of your time.
I apologize if I've been unclear or otherwise confused you with my words. It was never my intention to mislead, so let me try to clarify. Get the hell off my land!
Coming up!
I love how Ratana like completely ignores him. It's like, I have this mission, and you're gonna help me achieve it.
Just hear me out. What are you so afraid of?
Afraid? You think I'm afraid of anything? Least of all a self-important little scab like you? Or you might dream of being a hero, of riding to rescues, of saving the world. But stay this course, and the only thing you're gonna be is dead. The world's moved on, boy. Best you do too.
I will not leave, do you hear me? I'm never leaving. Just wait, old man. I will not be defeated so easily.
Yeah. You won't give up. That's something I really adore about Connor as well. Like, his perseverance.
You'll train me. You have to.
Like, also later in the story, right? Like, when he has kind of like a goal, then he's doing like everything in his ability to make it possible. He never gives up, like, ever. I am your child now. I'm never leaving. Imagine like a random just comes to your door and it's like, you have to train me. I'm becoming your new adoptive child. It's decided.
These are square toes. This'll be easy.
That's what you said last time, and I wound up with a dead horse and a dark eye.
Who are you?
No one you need concern yourself with, little britches.
Best cut for something bad happens.
No.
Can't say we didn't warn ya.
He's like, no.
Oi, brothers!
Oh yeah, double kill.
Only making things worse.
I love it.
Should have run when you had the chance. Why are you here? What do you want?
Best ask the boss man.
You working for the old man, then? That it? Maybe this'll get you talking. Oh.
Thank you.
Clean this up. Then I suppose we should talk.
You suppose? He's like really like impressed by how Connor could like deal with all of us, I think. It's like, yeah, maybe I should overthink this. This guy is a beast and he's like only 13, right? Like thinking about that he's still like that young. Just insane. Okay, so we have Achilles Davenport. You may not think it's to look at him how, but this man was once a mentor of a powerful branch of the Assassins, the Colonial Brotherhood. Achilles' life before he was an assassin isn't well documented. It seems that most of his records were destroyed when the Templars nearly wiped out the Order in 1763. From what I do have, Achilles was recruited in the mid-1730s and became a mentor in 1746. He had a gift for both recruitment and organization, so before long was head of a crew of assassins that spanned the colonies at much of the frontier. Achilles strengthened the ties between the Order and the nations of the Iroquois Confederacy, particularly the Kanen'kehá:ka, who as far as our records show, Connor is the first Native American to actually become an assassin. Let me actually have a look at my timetable here. They say it got eradicated in 1763, right? However, the last mission that you have in Rogue in the colonies is in 1760, not 63. I mean, obviously there still have been maybe some assassins around, so it just like maybe says that you know, he kept on, like Shay kept on hunting assassins for another 3 years. But it kind of like also doesn't fit with what Shay says at the end, right? Like Shay says, we have to spare Achilles because otherwise he can't tell the assassins about what you know, these temples actually do. And then he's also like saying it's not necessary to go after the assassins anymore because now they know, and Achilles will never leave his homestead again. It's kind of like you know, implying that Shay's done with hunting the assassins. So it makes you curious why they decided to put the end of Rogue at 1760 and not 63. My guess is they didn't read this database entry about Achilles Davenport, so they didn't even know. Okay. Let's go and talk to Achilles.
Sorry.
Not your fault. This whole place is ready to come down. Goddamn miracle it hasn't already. Anyway, who are you?
My name is Radohangado.
Right. Well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Now, tell me why you're here.
I was told to seek this symbol.
Do you even know what that symbol represents? Or what it is you're asking for?
No.
And yet, here you are.
The spirit said that I am...
These spirits of yours have been harassing the assassins for centuries. Ever since Ezio uncorked the bottle. But you don't even know what an assassin is, do you? Well, best settled in then. I've got a story to tell, and it's gonna take a while to get it all out. And so, this is why the Assassins have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of the Templars. Because if they succeed, your spirit's visions will become reality.
Then I will stop them.
Oh, I have no doubt you'll try. Come on, I've something to show you. Careful. Wasn't a joke when I said this place was coming apart.
Why don't you repair it?
What's the point? Besides, I don't have materials for the job.
So buy them.
Look at me. You think I can just march into some store, purse full of pounds, and go shopping?
Yes. Why not?
So naive.
That's what I love about Connor as well, right? Like,
this way.
He doesn't really know how, you know, the colonies kind of like function or how they work. It's not like, you know, he's like trading with money between the Iroquois.
I don't think you can just come in here, throw those on, and call yourself an assassin.
I did not. I would never presume...
That's all right. I know they've a certain allure. Very well. I'll train you. Then we'll know if you've the right to wear those robes.
Thank you.
Name's Achilles. Come on, then. We've work to do.
You are a speck of dust, a nothing. You and all your kind. Living in the dirt like animals. Oblivious to the true ways of the world.
What do the Templars want?
What they've always wanted. Control. They see an opportunity in the colonies. A chance for new beginnings, unfettered by the chaos of the past. This is why they backed the British. Here they have a chance to illustrate the merits of their beliefs, a people in service to the principles of order and structure.
I have seen what is to come if they succeed. They have to die, don't they? All of them. Even my father.
Especially your father. He's the one holding the whole thing together.
So I trained. In running, in climbing, in fighting, in falling. And for every lesson that concerned the body, there were two that concerned the mind. Language, philosophy, logic, the arts. Achilles taught most often of the Assassins and Templars, their structures, origins, and purpose. Centuries of history condensed into a few short days. I told him of the men who had burned my village, of Charles Lee, and my promise to him. Achilles explained that Lee and his followers were Templars, and that they were led by none other than my own father. If I was to serve the Order, these men would become my targets. So I worked harder, learned faster, but for all my progress, it was clear that I still had much to learn.
Where is Charles Lee?
My training had only just begun.
Indeed. I love his monologues for Connor. It's also a good way to kind of like showcase that he's like learning about the assassins without like, you know, actually spending ages doing so. Because obviously if you played all of the previous AC games, then, you know, that's basically what Connor's learning here about. But I kind of expect you to already have played the previous AC games, so it does make sense. And hey Vermola, welcome in, dude. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, I believe we have some new database entries. For Charles Lee. Frustrated with the lack of advancement with the British, Lee moved back to New York in 1773. He quickly became a supporter of the revolutionary cause, and in June of 1775, he joined the Continental Army with the rank of Major General. He began his service under the command of George Washington, which grated since he had some hopes of being named Commander-in-Chief of the army himself. Given Lee's experience, he might have had a point, but he also had his drawbacks. Most notable was his temper. Lee was quick to anger and had a habit of being very vocally and publicly angry when he didn't get his way. Bosses laughed at. He also had some rather odd personal quirks. He was exceptionally fond of dogs and was continually surrounded by them, in particular his much-loved Pomeranian. Never trust a man continually surrounded by tiny dogs. He was also vain and liked tailored suits, but rarely washed them, meaning that he smelled a little better than his animals, and worse according to some. Despite his failings, Lee was both a competent leader and popular with the troops. Washington recognized it and named one of the forts on the Hudson River Fort Lee in his honor. If Washington was hoping that just naming a fort after him smooth over their rocky relationship, it amazingly didn't work. In fact, as time went on, Lee became less and less fond of Washington and became reluctant to follow his orders at all. When Washington retreated across New York and New Jersey in 1776, he sent several commands to Lee to follow him, which Lee did, but very slowly. Which may be what resulted in him being left behind and captured by the British in 1776. Still, it's understandable. He probably had to stop every 5 minutes to let his bloody dogs piss in a hedge. Fortunately for Lee, he redesigned his commission to the British Army shortly after taking on his role in the Continental Army. It meant instead of being tried for being a deserter, his imprisonment in New York was more of an inconvenience. He was wined and dined by the British, allowed to have whomever he wanted as a dinner guest. It was basically a better breakfast. In return, he gave up information about the state of the Continental Army. Damn, he smelled even worse than his dirty dogs. Nice. Never trust a man continually surrounded by tiny dogs. Yeah, I think Sean knows. Sean has like a personal experience with somebody who was surrounded by tiny dogs. So actually I would also like to leave the enemies real quick because there's some new emails, I think. Might even have some dialogues with the other modern day characters. Okay, not Rebecca. Not William either. Maybe Sean. Hey Gentleman Panda, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Desmond and his totally not a man purse. He's like, it's not a purse. It's my personal bag. Rebecca Crane. Sean is really getting on my nerves. You think with everything that's going on, the guy would stop being such a douche. Maybe he thinks it's funny. Or maybe it's part of his snarky British charm. Or maybe it's how he deals with his stress. Whatever it is, it's getting old real fast. We've got enough to worry about, you know? End of the world and everything. You'd think you'd show a little restraint or maturity or something. Sorry. Not like you need to hear me venting. You've got enough on your plate. Please don't say anything to him. William. Disappointed. In case you haven't noticed, we're knee deep in the shit here. I understand this might not be your idea of a good time. It isn't anyone's idea of a good time. Picking fights isn't going to get our work finished any faster. So I suggest you stick to the mission. The sooner we're through the door, the sooner we can get back to our lives. Or in your case, the lack of one. Dead. Thanks, asshole. Would be Desmond right now, I think. That's good how this game kind of like showcases how their relationship also develops. And at some point, you know, they can both kind of like move on from the past, I guess. Sean, your father. William's the most diplomatic man, I give you that, but he cares about you very much. When you were under during that whole bit with 16, he never left your side, even slept in the same room where we were put down for the night. Anyway, don't mean to be a busybody, just didn't want you to stay sore with him. Not too sore anyway. The man means well, even if he's got an odd way of showing it. After Desmond, you hated so much the present storyline, so boring, no one cared about Observer offices. Yeah, it was definitely a bit underwhelming after the modern day we had previously. Like, you always felt like, you know, moving forward with the storyline, but Black Flag just kind of seemed like playing it way too safe, not committing to a character, and then also making more like references to what happened in the past, like filling some gaps, rather than pushing the story forward. Obviously introduced the whole like Juno wants to come back, and there's like also Juno's husband with Aita. So I thought that was really good and interesting. But you could tell they didn't want to commit just yet until Layla came along. I think they could have kept the whole Aita and Juno plotline, but really commit to like a new character and yeah, just like keep on pushing the story. I don't know, I felt like, to me it felt like the right choice for Desmond to make at the end of AC3. You know, that he would sacrifice himself rather than dooming 99% of humanity. I mean, it would be a Templar choice, I guess, to not kill, like to sacrifice yourself and take everybody else dying. So I can't understand why he did it. And I think it's fitting for the story. But I think the rather fucked up, I guess, what came after AC3. I didn't even mind Desmond dying that much. It's more of the fact how they kept on treating the modern day afterwards, to me. But yeah, it's definitely far away from how they initially planned on having Desmond's storyline unfold. Like initially they wanted to make him master the bleeding effect and then being able to access any one of his ancestors' memories without even using the animus. And he would then kind of like, you know, really become like the ultimate assassin, I guess you could say. Because he could draw on the knowledge of Altair and Ezio and a lot of others. And then the third game would have been set entirely in modern day instead. At least as like the time period you spend the most time in. On one hand, I'm happy they didn't go for just a trilogy because I love all of the other games for the most part. And the universe became like so rich, I guess. On the other hand, I think Assassin's Creed would be regarded way better nowadays if they went for the trilogy. Might even have been, you know, regarded as like one of the most important gaming series in the past 10 years or so. Or 15, I guess. But yeah, now they have rather a reputation of like, you know, a game like Call of Duty or FIFA, where people say, yeah, they just bring out the same game every year, which I think also isn't true, but it's definitely scratching the surface of the truth, I guess, because they still want to release lots of games. But you can definitely see how once like the whole Desmond story was done, they kind of lost focus, I guess, and didn't really know what to do. Because they're still kind of like following up on what the initial plan was, I guess. But obviously Brotherhood and Revelations were also just like, in a way, the filler games for AC3. Because, yeah, initially, you know, was planned as a trilogy. I mean, Brotherhood was even planned as being part of AC2 initially. However, they just cut off the whole Rome part of the story and then made it its own kind of like game. Then Revelations wasn't even planned as like a full-on game, but just like as a like kind of like handheld title or something, even similar to PlayStation portable title Bloodlines. But yeah, they made it into like a proper game because they needed another yearly release for the consoles to give AC3 more time. But I mean, it's incredible how well Brotherhood and Revelations turn out, considering what the initial plan was with those games, especially Revelations. Sean, new database entries. Just a quick heads up that I've pushed in a new batch of the entries focused on the Khan Kahaka. In order to ensure accuracy, I actually turned to a friend on the outside. Don't worry, he thinks it's for a presentation, so we're in no danger of being discovered. You find a new section under the database labeled, surprise surprise, Khan Kahaka. It has information on their political and social structures, as well as some notes about their material culture. Sean again. Connor's Piece of Eden. Interesting. A spell used by Connor during his spirit journey is clearly first civilization origin. It appears to function as some sort of temporal calculator. It's essentially a crystal ball, but one that actually works. This can't be coincidental, which begs the question, are there others out there? So yeah, the Piece of Eden that Connor interacted with, in fact, isn't an apple. It's kind of like a communication sphere, I guess. And by using it, he can communicate via the Nexus to Juno. And this same sphere is also showcased in Valhalla, actually, when you go to Vinland, and to the same place where Connor grew up, because you meet the Mohawk people there. And one of your tasks as Eivor is to kill one of his enemies from the Norway days, like the son of his father and mother's killer. And he actually has a sphere, and you can even hear Juno talk to him as well. However, he's obviously not the chosen one, not like Connor. So he just understands rubbish, essentially. But yeah, you actually receive it as Eivor and then give it to the Mohawk people so they can guard it, which explains why they have it in AC3. It's a really nice connection there between the games that Valhalla did. And then we got this message from Juno. They're kind of like a wild combination of numbers and symbols, which indicates that she is kind of like trying to find out how to communicate via the computer. And at the end you have a hello, which, you know, kind of like showcases, yeah, she has figured out how to do it now, and she can actually communicate with us via the laptop. Your messages by trunk. Right? Yeah, I wanna have a look real quick at my DNA checker. So we can play until memory 4, I think, of sequence 5. Let's have a quick look again at the timetable, because I want to make sure we don't play too far ahead. Yeah, it's until sequence 5, memory 4, and then we go back to liberation. Okay.
Good morning.
To you as well. You taking a trip?
I've decided to do something about the house, and you're going to help me. Get it? Don't stare.
Sorry.
Come on.
This place is incredible. The people, the sounds and smells. I could walk these streets for days and know not even half its wonders.
I thought the same as you upon a time. These days, I much prefer the quiet of the countryside.
But there is so much life here. So many opportunities.
For a few, my boy. For a few.
True that.
There's a store close to here. You're to buy the items on this list. Tell them where the carriage is, and they'll see that it's loaded. Understood?
Yes.
Good. You're also going to need a new name. Your skin is fair enough that you might pass for one with Spanish or Italian blood. Better to be thought a Spaniard than a native. And both are better still than I.
That is not true.
What's true and what is aren't always the same.
What would you call me then?
Kana. Yes, that will be your name. All right then, off you go.
And this breaks my heart. You know, that Achilles gives Ratana Kiran the name of his dead son. Sorry to tell, you know, the fatherly feelings he has for him at this point. But also, you know, that real talk that Achilles makes about, you know, like racism in the colonies at the time, you know. And how many people have to deal with it. You don't know where he got the name Connor from, Achilles that is. Yeah. Yeah, his son and his wife both died. And his son was named Connor as well. Can you already visit Connor's grave? I mean, you have access to the homestead, right? So I would assume so. I can have a look next time we're there. But yeah, we should have access to the area, so I would think so.
I grow tired of this.
The Stamp Act was the British government's attempt to recoup some of the money they spent during the French and Indian War by taxing the American colonists, who theoretically benefited most from it. Parliament chose a stamp tax because it was simple, easily implemented, and the colonists couldn't smuggle their ways out of paying it. All papers, from newspapers to legal documents to lawyers' licenses, would need to purchase a government stamp to be used. Colonists, however, didn't think Britain had the right to tax them at all, since there were no colonial representatives in Parliament, hence the snappy revolutionary slogan, "No taxation without representation." They also resented the suggestion that they were responsible for Britain's war debts, since the colonial militia had a huge role in fighting and winning the French and Indian War. Huge public protests were organized, run by groups who called themselves the Sons of Liberty. Merchants declared a boycott of British goods. Perhaps most importantly, the people assigned to collect the tax were threatened and intimidated into resigning. The Massachusetts stamp distributor was even paraded through Boston by the Sons of Liberty and forced to resign at the Liberty Tree. No stamp taxes were ever collected, and British repealed the Stamp Act in March of 1766, but it wasn't an entire victory for the colonies. Parliament then passed something called the Declaratory Act, essentially stating that Britain had the absolute right to tax the colonists, and there wasn't anything the colonists could do about it. Nothing, that is, except start their own country. I've always fancied doing that. That's so funny, because the actor of Sean Hastings, he actually wrote a book about how to start your own country, and he even did that. Like, he went through the process of creating his own country, and or kind of like state or something, and then he even got people to sign up as citizens for him, kind of like as an experiment. And yeah, he did it. It's really cool because it kind of like showcases how much he could like also add to the writing sometimes of the database entries, it seems. And I mean, he's a writer himself, right? Like, he actually also wrote the book Yes Men, which got made into a movie with Jim Carrey in it, playing the lead role. He kind of like plays a guy who's super depressed, I guess, in a way. But then he like starts saying yes to everything that people ask him because of kind of like a bet. And then his life completely changes. Also kind of like an experiment, I guess, in a way. You've seen it once? Yeah. I actually really like it. Like the whole idea behind the movie. It's kind of like, you know, putting him into a situation he would never get into otherwise.
Seems each day a new tax is levied, a new rule enforced, all without our consent. The Revenue Act, the Indemnity Act, the Commissioners of Customs Act. Oh, Chancellor Townsend must have thought himself so clever when he papered these thefts and made them law, but the Constitution says we've a right to refuse, that there will be no taxation without representation. Tell me, who represented us in Parliament? Who spoke on our behalf? Signed in our stead? Give me a name. Only you can't. And you know why? You can't tell me who represented us because nobody did.
I mean, yes, a point. No taxation without representation, as I would like to say.
You lost?
I need the items on this list.
Will you be paying with coin or trade? Some of these things I have, some I don't. Lumber's hard to come by since my supplier up and vanished. I have the tools and pitch, though. Nails, too. So, where do you want this delivered?
Our wagon is near the State House.
You can pass for Spaniard, wears native clothes. Yeah, that's always a bit funny with the logic. Like in quite a few AC games, whatever you like wearing.
I should return to Achilles.
Who stands in Parliament for Boston? For New York? For Virginia? No one. But Old Sarum is represented. And Newport, and Newtown, Seaford, and Saltash. The list goes on. Rotten boroughs, one and all. And yet, there are men who speak for them. These places... What has become of the rights of Englishmen? Are we not entitled to have a say in our governance? Who are they to silence our voices, to insist we be represented by strangers? Have you forgotten the Stamp Act and how we responded? We spoke up. We resisted, so they stood down. We were heard, and it was repealed. But now too many are silent, or worse, they excuse it. The taxes are not so high, they say. The money is put to good use, they say. Fie, I say. Fie, we should all say. Though the taxes may be small, they were enacted and enforced without our consent. As to their use, they pay governors and judges. And if it's Britain pays them, it's Britain to whom they are beholden, not us. Do none see the danger here?
Our wagon is near the State House. License plate Connor. Right. It's not enough, dude. It's kind of funny actually that voice actor just now who did the announcement was the same voice actor for Arno in Unity. He actually does a few voices in this game, but also Black Flag as well. But mostly like minor roles. Just crossed 600k points. When do you get that visit Crook and stream together in person reward? Soon, Jade, soon. Once you get to the 1 million, I promise. Bunch of grapes. Hold up, let me have a look at the database entry here. Okay.
We're headed to the customs house to toss some quips at the lobsters. James, Sam, come on. We're going to ruffle some redback.
What happened?
Loyalist. Loyalists were colonists who sided with the British during the Revolution. They were also known as Tories, Royalists, and Kingsmen, and probably also by their enemies as those bloody ass-kissing nannyhammers, among other things. But being a loyalist might seem to you like the bad guys, that's only because you know the Patriots won. It's very easy to use history to look smart, even if you were subjected to the American education system, and system is a strong word. In fact, by some estimates, as many as 1 in 5 colonists were actively loyalists, and many more tried not to pick a side altogether. I expect the version of the story you've heard goes something like this. The loyalists were traitors who betrayed their fellow Americans to the British. That's a nice little fiction, since from a loyalist perspective the opposite was the truth. The colonies were founded and owned by Britain, the colonists were therefore British citizens. Thus, the rabbits trying to disobey the king were the real traitors here. Aha, you see? The country of traitors. Try spinning that. You'd also have to be pretty brave to be a loyalist, particularly if the people in your community were patriots. No loyalists were frequently dragged from their homes, beaten, burned with candles, or tarred and feathered. But just in case you suffered from the delusion that the patriots always took the moral high ground. Damn. Sean really wants to showcase the other side, I guess. Being British and all. Hey there, Cider. Welcome in, dude. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Patriots were colonists who united against the British government in the Revolutionary War. Although at the time of revolution, patriot was something of a negative term, what we call patriots today were more likely to be called Whigs, or if you were a loyalist, rebels. The patriot motto was "No taxation without representation," a great phrase for rebel-rousing, or poor choice of catchphrase for, say, a game show host. It's also a phrase that requires a bit of unpacking for a modern audience, by which I mean you, Desmond. The colonies didn't elect representatives to the British legislature, and because of the travel distance between Britain and America, and the distinct lack of aeroplanes, it wouldn't have been practical. Instead, patriots wanted to be governed by representatives within the colonies. Of course, they did have legislatures already, but those were rather prone to being shut down by British appointed governors whenever they didn't behave properly. Read, do exactly what the governor wanted. It's hard to know how many people in the colonies were patriots. The best guess is between 40 and 45% of the population. The rest were either declared loyalists or people who decided to remain tactically neutral. Probably a wise choice given that both sides were known for seizing the property of their enemies.
That's what we're going to find out.
With me! To King
Follow
Street!
me.
We'll show them! Down to the customs house for a spree! Come along!
I say again, disperse! Congregating in this manner is forbidden!
We're not going anywhere, Bug!
Oi! Why did you go back to England?
No good can come of this chaos! Return to your homes, and all will be forgiven!
Never!
Not until you've answered for your crimes!
You're right, cowards!
You don't scare us!
Pointing guns at unarmed
We ain't afraid!
There.
Is that my father?
Yes, which means trouble is sure to follow. I need you to tail his accomplice. This crowd is a powder keg. We can't allow him to light the fuse.
But
nothing. Do as I say and go.
Come on, you gosh-gutted coward! It doesn't show.
Haven Kenway is a Templar who came to the American colonies in 1754. From what we have learned, Kenway was sent here by Grandmaster Reginald Birch with a dual mission. establish his own Templar group to rival the colonial assassins, and search for clues about artifacts related to the first civilization. When a Grandmaster tells you to do something, you do it, even if it's just a chess Grandmaster. Kenway didn't find the artifacts he was looking for. He did, however, recruit a small, dedicated band of Templars. He also tended to forge a relationship with the Kanekahaka at the frontier, and one woman in particular, Yatsuzio. The two were briefly lovers, and however brief it was enough, because Yatsuzio, unbeknownst to Haven, ended up raising their son, Connor. I'm guessing it was Kenway who became Grandmaster of the colonies, and therefore the man responsible for the 1763 attack on the colonial assassins. That attack wiped out most of their membership and almost all of our records from that era. It's never been clear exactly what happened in that attack, or how Kenway managed to make it such a complete surprise. In any case, I don't think I like this guy. Sorry to use such a strong word. Yeah, it's really interesting how the whole 1763 attack is never shown in Rogue, nor does Rogue take place even during that year. Nor would, Achilles be surprised for an attack given what has happened already in 1760. Because in 1760 he gets shot. In 1760, the whole story ends of Rogue, where Shay's like done with hunting the assassins. Just further showcases how Rogue really doesn't fit too well in with the other games, The documentation of this game is so casual. Yeah, that's true. Hey Aura, happy Friday. Good morning to you. Yeah, it wasn't. So Rogue actually ends in 1760. Like if you also have a look at the Kenway Saga order of events. Wait, hold on. God damn it, my mobile chat isn't working. Let me just do this. But yeah, Rogue ends in 1760, so that's 3 years before the supposed surprise attack on the colonial assassins. So it really doesn't fit at all. But of course also the fact that like Achilles never talks about Shay or the temples, the earthquakes, in 3 just doesn't make it fit quite well with Rogue's story.
Hey, Lobster! Go ahead! Fire your little gun!
You red-backed, rum-soaked, bacon-faced lout! I'd as soon fight you as this on you!
Boy, you there! What's all the fuss about?
Fire at the townhouse.
Yeah, he definitely does Lucinda. And also wearing that in like, deep winter. With like sleeves up and everything. He's hardcore. Hey there, Mira Tausek, welcome in. You didn't see that either. I'm doing good, thank you. Enjoying some more AC3 today. I love this game.
Your plot is ended.
Not quite. Damn you! Fire!
There you go. The Templars started the Boston Massacre. Chartsy and Haven.
I need to find Achilles.
You there? Careful now. I'm here to help.
Who are you?
Well, just a messenger. Mr. Adams.
You love the logic of this game, Mira? Yeah. Like the way he was searching for us, and then conveniently ran to the haystack. Your favorite part of this game was definitely the tunnels? Yeah, good April Fool joke, Aura. Yeah, I don't know, I don't mind the tunnels too much right now anymore, but when I first played the game, like, I really didn't like them too much. And it's still like a bit frustrating, like trying to find every nook and cranny to get the 100% on them. I'm not gonna make it a requirement to get the 100% completion on the tunnels. I definitely wanna do other story related stuff inside the tunnels, I think. So like all of the forgot their name. But yeah, the documents you can find in the tunnels. The Boston Massacre was the culmination of several fights between the British soldiers and the people of Boston. A group of British soldiers fired into the crowd at point-blank range, killing 5. The reality of it is less damning to the British than it sounds. What started as an argument about a wigmaker's bow, of all things, turned into a mob. Hundreds of Boston citizens kept 8 British regulars cornered for hours. By the end of it, many were holding clubs, throwing stones and taunting the soldiers to fire. Captain Thomas Preston was in charge of the regulars, and tried to defuse the situation by talking with the crowd. He asked if his soldiers' guns were loaded. He admitted that they were, but it would have been stupid for him to order them to fire, since at the time he was standing in front of him. It wasn't until one of the soldiers was hit by a stone, which forced him to drop his musket, that the regulars fired into the crowd, against the orders of Preston, who later testified he never gave the command to fire. It's possible his men mistook the taunts of the crowd for an order. The irregulars were arrested and tried for murder. 6 were acquitted, including Thomas Preston. The other 2 men were found guilty of manslaughter, but had their thumbs branded in lieu of the usual sentence, which was death. One of the interesting things about the massacre is what happened afterward, that is, how both sides tried to spin it to their advantage. The fact that most people call it a massacre should give you some idea of who won this particular PR war. Revolutionaries portrayed it as an attack on colonial liberties, and images of the event, popularized by Paul Revere, showed an organized British force firing into the crowd, not a confused group of soldiers cornered by an angry mob. The British, on the other hand, referred to the event, the incident on King Street. When actually calm in a crisis, unlike countries who insist on turning every minor confrontation into a free-ring circus. Anyway, the wigmaker dropped his prices, and it never happened again. I call it a victory for the boat. We could not find any of the entrances to the tunnels, so they were basically useless. Ah, damn. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky, like inside the tunnels. It's a bit of a shame you can't unlock them from the other side, right? Because once you get them, they're like really handy, like for fast traveling and stuff. But yeah, it can take a while. We also got these newspaper articles, but I'm just gonna stick to the database description of the event. I think. Sean's British bias is showing. Yeah. He doesn't make a secret out of it as well.
What? Why? Well, you'll need ask him that yourself. He'll meet you tonight near Faneuil Hall. I suggest laying low till then.
Okay, let's just check the DNA tracker again. Okay, so we still have 2 more missions in this sequence before we go back to Liberation. Actually, let's not go for the viewpoint just yet, because that creates the music loop bug. I'll do it later once we have fast travel available and stuff.
Over here, over here.
Over here, over here, over here, over here. Samuel Adams was a Boston lawyer, a signatory of the Declaration of Independence, and a prominent political figure during the lead up to the American Revolution. I think that's put your little life into perspective, hasn't it? Adams was born in Massachusetts, the son of another Samuel Adams who was a well-off merchant. Adams the younger one went to Harvard, graduating in 1740. He went into business for himself but was a dismal failure and ended up taking a job in the family brewery. A lot of men turn to breweries when their businesses fail, but in a rather different way. And that was fortunate for his historical legacy, since his relationship to beer may be the only reason most Americans have ever even heard of him. Adams was elected to the Massachusetts legislature in 1765, which was the beginning of his political career. He was a staunch supporter of colonist rights, mainly the ever-popular arguments over whether British Parliament had a right to impose taxes, but wasn't pro-independence, at least not at first. I think it's fair to say he changed his mind later. Adams is often portrayed as an angry radical, but that's a bit of a biased picture. Adams disliked vigilantism. For the most part, though, he approved when a mob forced Boston's stamp collector to resign, so perhaps he only disliked some vigilantism. In later years, when Adams was in Congress, he refused even to join a political party because he found the idea divisive, a sentiment which he shared with George Washington, incidentally. However, Adams' reputation for being a rebel-rouser is somewhat understandable. He was a representative of the town of Boston after the Boston Massacre, and succeeded in having the regulars kicked out of town. He spoke at the Old South Meeting Hall just prior to the Boston Tea Party, and it said he gave a signal for the dumping of a tea. There's some debate over whether he was involved, which I'm happy about, as a gentleman does not waste tea. Adams was infamous enough that he had to leave Boston for Lexington in 1775, to avoid arrest by the British who considered him a troublemaker. When the siege of Boston began, the Massachusetts governor offered to pardon any rebels who would lay down their arms. Except Adams and John Hancock. Overall, Adams certainly was a thorn in the side of the British. But what puzzles me is why some Americans think being an angry revolutionary was a bad thing. It's got you where you are today, didn't it? Actually, hang about, yes. Maybe I see that point after all. Expect I make my own over here? Yeah.
I make my own luck.
Over here?
You're Achilles' boy.
Connor, was it? I saw what happened at the townhouse. A fine mess, that.
Who are you?
Samuel Adams, at your service. Achilles asked me to get you out of Boston.
Explain.
The whole city's looking for you.
Oh yay, oh yay! A criminal stalks the streets, wanted in connection with the massacre at the townhouse. Citizens are advised to call the guards if they see him. £10 to whoever brings this madman.
What am I supposed to do?
You can take down these posters for a start. Return to me once you remove the others. Take down those posters and then we'll talk.
Take down the posters. Oh, let's try then. Getting immediately attacked here. Amazing.
We can't be seen together until these posters are gone.
Why did he have to look this way? Let me just check my optional objectives here. We don't have any. Okay. Hey Sean, that's unfair. We got to be this terrible with our own gumption. Yeah. I love these kind of like bias entries from Sean. It's kind of like a bit ironic as well, of course. That's better. But they don't take us on site, but rather just investigate us instead.
Ah, Connor. There you are. I'd like you to meet Cyrus.
Is he the killer?
Peace. Cyrus is on our side, or rather, for the right price, he will be.
Have you seen this man?
Watch and learn.
Oh yay! Oh yay! Word has reached us that the man responsible for today's shooting may have been in disguise. A wig and makeup tin were found near the scene of the crime. Witnesses describe a middle-aged gentleman of pale complexion fleeing towards the wharves, rifle in arm.
Thank you kindly, Cyrus.
Pleasure.
Come on, then. There's still one last bit of work to do.
It's the wig makers again, I tell you.
Where do you think all those posters came from? They're made by a machine. We need to shut it down.
It's funny that Sean is so anti-revolutionary considering he's part of the Assassins. Yeah, and also considering that, you know, the Templars back the British during this time.
Damn it, we're too late. They've set up a checkpoint. Come on. This way.
I can go by rooftop and meet you there.
No. Better you learn about the tunnels now.
Tunnels?
The Masons have a whole network of them under the city. They're quite useful when speed and secrecy are required.
Indeed, the tunnels. Oh, that's the Green Dragon Tavern, isn't it? Let's see if I can go inside here. Okay, I can't. Of course, there we can find a chest with all of the money we got as Haven, actually. Good to know that fake news have been around since the 1700s. Yeah, I guess since the birth of humankind. This.
Here we are, then. I'll see you inside. Hold on.
I actually quite like the atmosphere in the tunnels for. I think it's really well done.
Use your lantern to light the lamps, Connor. They'll help us find our way should we get turned around.
I wonder why they built these tunnels.
Excellent. Let us move on.
I'm gonna try to light as many torches as possible here.
I don't think this is the right way.
I don't think so.
Much as it pains me to say it, we must follow the rats, as they often move in the direction of an exit.
Follow the rats. Why can't we follow the butterflies? I wonder why they built these tunnels. Connie just told you why. Yeah, Connor has to be told twice, I think.
Well, well. You were right. I apologize for ever doubting. No wonder Achilles has taken such an interest in you. Arse. I don't suppose lockpicking is part of your repertoire?
Who was the third guy who just walked through the cutscene? Was that like another Sammy Adams? Fucking into there? But kinda creepy, not gonna lie.
Well done. The printer isn't far. Let us reconvene there.
Hey there, I'm in the best suit. Welcome in, dude. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let me have one look here. DNA. Okay, so this was like a mission that didn't even was like part of a main sequence apparently. So we still got one more mission to do until we switch back to Liberation. It's a giant lock to pick, no kidding. But yeah, no trouble for Connor.
You ask a great deal of me, Sam.
I know, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important, if it wasn't vital.
Fine. Just this once, though. In the future, such things will come at a price. Resetting the type is neither quick nor easy. To say nothing of the cost should I be discovered.
I shall not forget this kindness.
Nor I.
His work will see your last little bit of notoriety erased. Come, I'll show you how to leave now that order's been restored. So, now you've had a chance to see how it all works. Untoward actions will upset the citizens and inevitably lead to the guards being called. Depending on the severity of your transgression, they may simply search a bit before giving up and returning to their post. But should you offend them severely or repeatedly, they'll become much more aggressive in their pursuits. I've shown you 3 ways to turn the tide. Remove wanted posters, bribe town criers, or visit a printer to create your own propaganda.
This feels wrong. Why not just speak to someone and explain my innocence?
You can't be serious.
We counter one lie with another. Words on paper instantly taken as truth. And all of it without question.
They loosed this beast. Or have you forgotten? I merely helped you tame and turn it round.
There must be another way. Something more honest.
Well, when you find it, do let me know. But until then, we sculpt with the clay we have.
My apologies. I do not mean to sound ungrateful.
Quite all right. I was much the same at your age. You'll grow out of it.
And if I do not? If I refuse?
Then you'll likely wind up dead.
Wow.
Here we are. Speak with the harbor master and he'll see you home.
Thank you for everything, Sam. I promise one day to repay the favor.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Like this.
Nothing better than a talk class of Samuel Adams after a long day at work. It's kind of funny, but because of a database entry for Samuel Adams, Sean also talks about how most Americans apparently only know about Samuel Adams from the beer or something. I never seen actually Samuel Adams like as a brand before. I guess I don't sell it here. Okay, so I believe it still wasn't Memory 4. Interesting. I guess we can still go to the homestead then. Alright, let me have a look at database, because we have a few new entries, I believe. We have the Jägers. Hessians were German soldiers who were hired by the British to fight in the Revolutionary War. While Hessians technically referred to soldiers who were from the state of Hessen-Kassel, it came to be a blanket term for all of the German mercenaries who fought in the Revolution. The imprecision is easy to understand, of course. When a troop of German soldiers lines up and starts firing at you in a war, only the most misguided of geography nerds would stop to ask where they're from. So, me then. Among the Hessian troops who were sent to fight in the American Revolution were at least 2 units referred to as Jägers. These were light infantry troops, known for being accurate marksmen. Accurate marksmen are very much the best sort of marksman. The word Jäger also happens to be a German for hunter, and early members of Jäger troops were mainly comprised of experienced foresters. Again, really accurate gunmen who are good at fighting in the woods is exactly the kind of soldier you'd want for a war in the American frontier. Unsurprisingly, this made Jägers the most feared and respected division of the Hessians. Indeed, the hunters. He is always the best source for history, right? When you were a kid, you knew Samuel Adams as a beer brand before you knew him as a historical figure. I mean, it's definitely understandable, you know, if it's like popular as well as a brand, and you just haven't gotten to that point yet in history class. I mean, it would be the same for me, I guess, if it would be actually sold here. Alright, time to take the ship to Davenport Homestead. Connor's just like a little bit mad with Achilles leaving him alone in Boston. But of course, Achilles had a plan all along, right? Like he organized Sammy Adams to take care of Connor. But I think at the same time, he also wanted to strengthen the ties between Connor and kind of like other contacts in Boston. You know, kind of like introduce him to some mutual contacts, I guess. But also to kind of like train Connor in a way, you know, to kind of like, okay, what would you do if you're all by yourself all of a sudden? It's very harsh kind of like training, I guess, in a way. But yeah, it's Achilles' way of doing it, I guess. The province doesn't usually make it in a lot of maps, so interesting it's on the one in this game. Ah, is it? Hold up. Ah yeah, zoom. So it's on this map. Is it like somewhere up here? This area? Ah, okay, I thought there was the faster map. Hold up, I can't... Yeah, I can't zoom out further. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. We can have a look next time we are fast traveling. There's actually one thing I wanted to check, right? We wanted to see if the graves are actually still visible, or already visible, of Connor and Abigail Davenport. But yeah, there they are, so I guess we can already see them. But there they go. Abigail and Connor Davenport. It's interesting that Connor's almost like not visible. You can only really spot the N and the O properly right now. But yeah, those are the graves. And we already got a grave stone for Achilles. I guess showcasing that he's like, you know, expecting to die at any point. It's such a shame like Rogue didn't showcase both Connor and Abigail. Like they only talked about, but they never show them or Achilles together with him. I guess to also like give you less sympathy for him, because the loss is actually kind of like talked about, like when Achilles loses his family. But Shay just basically roasts Achilles. You know, he's like, I don't care if his family's dead and stuff. It's like, seriously. And I just hate Shay so much. What an asshole.
Welcome back.
You left me in Boston.
The training we've done here is all well and good, but experience is a better teacher by far.
What of my father?
Into the wind, I'm afraid.
We have to find him.
And we will, after the house has been repaired.
But he's out there plotting who knows what.
And what would you do when you found him? If you found him? You're a boy with a few months of training. He's a man full grown who spent decades honing his skills. If you're going to stand a chance against the Templars, you're going to need these. Go on before I change my mind.
Hope. Okay, again, let's have a look at the DNA tracker here because I'm still not sure if we have finished with... Okay, so this is still part of main story here of Memory 4. Look like a bear banging on the window. Yeah. Yeah, that as well, Aura. You know, like Chase never mentioned, the earthquakes aren't.
Please, help! He's going to die!
This really showcases, you know, how they just didn't really do a good job of like fitting it in, you know, as like a prequel story. But also the fact, you know, that like the whole year thing, you know, like the game with the colonial saga ends kind of like in 1760 of in Rogue. And then the attack was supposed to happen in 1763 by surprise on the homestead with Haven in charge. But I mean, by 1763, according to Rogue, Achilles was already wounded, his brotherhood was decimated, and he was like alone in his homestead, so... Yeah. Exactly, you know, like, given what happened in Rogue, Shay should be a big topic. Or even like part of the like assassination targets, you know. It's always funny to me that people, at least on Reddit, you know, when I go like on the subreddit for Assassin's Creed, they usually never criticize Rogue for that aspect, you know. But then they criticize Unity for not being able to hunt Shay in there. And hey Verot, welcome in Senny. Thank you so much for the raid, dude. I appreciate it. Welcome in Raiders. Hey Max, Rod, welcome in. I hope you had a great stream today. How's it going?
Where's Charles Lee?
Happy late April Fool's Day. I'm best to imagine if they had added content in the AC3 remaster referencing the events. Yeah, would have been cool to have something like that, I guess. What I also would have loved for the remaster is that they would have added the monologues that you can hear on YouTube still. Like the recorded lines for Connor, where he talks about his mother and also about Haven and stuff, but they never included them into the game. Kind of like add those in the remaster, but yeah, they didn't. Yeah, exactly, Aura. It's Reddit after all. But it's going great, thanks. Cheers, dude. How are you? You had a good stream, got through some annoying platform parts. Ah, that's great to hear, dude. I'm glad you got through those, because yeah, that can be quite frustrating sometimes. But yeah, it's going good. Just playing some AC3 today. We are actually in the last mission for today with AC3, I think, before we go back to Liberation again. But yeah, I had a good time, kind of like the whole journey of Connor leaving the Mohawk people and, you know, joining Achilles and stuff. Then the first mission in Boston as well as Connor with the Boston Massacre. So yeah, it's going quite good. It's nice to be playing, you know, a good story game again.
Ooh. There's no time! Please come!
And yeah, for anybody that didn't come with a raid there, definitely go and check out Rod's channel as well. He's an amazing streamer, also a big fan of Assassin's Creed. He plays those games on the weekends usually. So you can catch him play everything from Unity to Black Flag and lots of other games. He's also gonna be doing his annual series run soon, playing for the entire series as well.
Down there! He's just passed under the bridge!
Yeah, can't touch the water here.
Someone! Help!
And that's a good question, Rod. I think I'm gonna do both missions, just one after the other essentially. So I'm gonna do Evidence part first and then Connor's part, I think. But I wanna play both of them. So I'm just gonna do it like one after the other.
Help me! Please! Someone! Help!
Please. Yeah, I'm coming, Terry. Don't you worry.
Help me!
Yeah, man. I love a trick. Also this one.
What this knobbend is trying to say is he's forever in your debt, sir.
Who you calling a knob-end?
You, because you are one.
What were you doing on those logs?
One of the dangers of lumbering. We've got the camp set up a few rods off of here, as we're cutting timber. We're hoping to open a mill in the area.
There's a good place not far from the manor on the hill where I'm staying.
I like you already. We'll have a look.
I'll miss the peace and quiet, but we can certainly use the wood.
The manor needs a lot of work.
That and other things. Meet me at the small shack by the shoreline when you have time. There's something else you need to see.
What is it?
An asset.
Oh, nice. We unlocked our first Homestead Mission. Hell yeah. That's Lance, isn't it? I love the Homestead Missions so much. One of the episode highlights of this game. Yeah, now we got our wood, like our, how have I got? Lumberjacks. That's it. It's so we have a way of getting wood to our trading and crafting system. But that would be great, dude. You always like to play the memory as both Evelyn and Connor. Yeah, me too. It's like nice having the perspective change as well. Yeah, such a like a nice way of including Connor into the game, I felt. Connor will be with you momentarily. Indeed. Oops, I didn't wanna pull up my bow here. Can't take these guys for the activities yet because we haven't unlocked the encyclopedia of common men yet, but it's gonna happen soon. So I believe that should be finishing sequence 5 memory 4 now, indeed. So the next memory would actually take place after AC Liberation sequence 5 and 6. So that's gonna be the next like main mission we're gonna be playing. However, before we switch to Liberation, I wanna do this Homestead mission first. Maybe check some other side activities we can do before we switch over to Liberation. So let's do this mission here. Memories of trying to get the Norris entries for that one. Yeah. It's like he just wants to eat his apple. Or like clean his, you know, house. But he never wants to do his actual job. I spent like days just watching him eat his freaking apple and stuff. Like in-game days, of course. You really like the Homestead mission with the Taylor, where the entire homestead fights fights the ex-husband. Yeah, that was great. I love how they all team up together as well. It's always great seeing when they like unite and work together. Like all of the missions where they kind of like come together for several purposes. Like also later for the wedding, when they like all pitch in to make the like event possible and the whole festivities. It really fits like, you know, an actual community that cares for each other.
What in God's name is going? Please help me!
A takedown. Wait, that's a nice. So you wanna throw somebody down? I can't throw them. Never mind. These guys are immune to like anything, aren't they? I like how he just picked up at one guy and threw him to the ground. Like he's 13 at this point, right? And he's like picking up grown men. Just like that.
Someone pull me up!
But yeah, Norris is like, I could do my work, but I'd rather eat this apple. Or if I do work, I do something I've already done. That's true. It's gonna be fun trying to find all of these entries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you all right?
I think so. Didn't do much to me aside from a good scare. Blackguards.
What did they want with you?
My purse, which was meager, and they decided to punish me for their trouble. Silly, really. My tools and equipment were worth a king's share to the right man. In any case, I had best get on my way. It's a long walk to the nearest inn. I thank you again for your kindness.
Have you no home?
Oh, well, I was a proud resident of Boston until recently, but I'm not a supporter of His Majesty, and, well, I was forced out of my woodshop and home by loyalists.
There are plenty around here who could use the services of a skilled craftsman, if you were looking for somewhere to settle.
Is that right? I may look into that.
Oh yeah. Got a woodworker. Ants can now craft level 1 goods. And I can't wait to have like the whole homestead eventually. The way Connor puts him up so casually like, huh, didn't notice this guy here? Yeah. Like he really is strong. Alright, so that's all the missions here. I'd actually like to go to the frontier and have a look there. Maybe I should go back to my Mohawk village to see if there's any dialogue that can be triggered. Because you can actually talk to your people every now and then. And I do want to trigger all the optional dialogue that's available at any time. Indeed, we can talk with Ganandokun and I guess also with the clan mother. That's cool. Aura Lens, I was forced out of my home and my entire life work has been destroyed by a man who tried to kill me 5 minutes ago. Anyways, gotta run. Thank you very much. Yeah. Just gotta move on from that, you know.
Yo serio, un guajetio ze. Za ezoradi ona gara di derum dano segun yahde wa der hat steristum.
Wakatsanuni zine e wakeri huaruke.
Oknize, ohnio tu haje jata dego.
Yung gewien harata ne yung kiswas. Nekti jo zerunahto haje ne raudi sat stasira. Ayawas yo snorre era awet dinner of these stasirane on Junzage.
Kunak daragwani di dizanak dinigan usesne. Dizanak dayandige nona so the way nanda nidam the sahdondi.
Oh man. The fact that they actually kept his place, you know, like his sleeping place and stuff. Thinking that Connor will ever come back, but of course he won't.
Nuna oing a skaho er dun hagedum. The dancer.
Right, so let's over dialogue with Gun and Dokon. Let's talk to the clan mother. Love how they feature Connor's language instead of having all the native people speak English. Me too. They've actually worked together with, I think, also like a society which works on preserving the Mohawk culture and language. And the voice actor even for Connor also is like has native heritage and like a strong connection to it. So it's really great how much authenticity they try to add to that aspect of the game. And yeah, it's also apparently very accurate as well. So it's great to see. But yeah, what really bothers me sometimes is when you get to like Tyranny of King Washington, right? And then like all of a sudden they don't care about it anymore and they just have like the natives speak English with each other. Which makes even less sense in that DLC, considering that Connor never kind of like joins with Achilles or kind of like with the rebels in that DLC. Really. At least up until a later point. They were just kind of like thrown to the bin, I guess. But yeah, it's also another team that worked on the DLC. That would be Ubisoft Quebec. But you could really tell that Montreal cared a lot about being authentic to the culture. Hey Veroni, welcome in, dude. Good morning to you. But you need to figure out who voices Lance. On IMDb there's no credit for Lance under AC3, so he's probably only credited for any other characters that he has voiced in games under additional, but I've heard him voice characters in other games of this series. Yeah, try to think myself. I have to listen to him a bit more consciously again. But if I have an idea, I'm gonna let you know, Rod. You know, now that I think about it, doesn't the guy, if you remember in Unity, right, when Arno and Elise do their escape from, with the balloon, right, that mission. You remember the guy who talks about kind of a balloon and how it functions? Who says, get down there this instant? He kind of sounds similar, doesn't he? I don't know if it's the same voice actor, but maybe if you find out who voiced that character, like even though it's a minor role. I have a feeling it could be the same. Or maybe they just sound similar, but yeah, if you remember that guy, maybe that's the same voice actor. You stole so many heads, Ronnie. Hell yeah. That's great to hear. How far into Red Dead Redemption are you at this point? That's Bruce Dinsmore. He voices Robespierre, but different to Lance. Ah, okay. Oh, never mind then. Worth a try, I guess.
Radun hagedu, skanoruk stiguyanderes.
Saga da derivasta ziata zahayo snore de wageno. The wagemo hara ziwaga de westu haje.
Washe chari got dinahoda zezax.
Zozio snore ayako deriandaratne. Nektit kayana yeri wakatahidake.
Ona ya the gayeri niza jerdanyu.
Nekti dangayeri gega.
Ise cock on wadun dosa de deri wat seragwase.
You camp by the lake right now. Ah, okay. You just have a mission with Jose and Dutch where we go fishing. Ah, right. Yeah, that's a mission that you've also done the other day, Rod, haven't you? I think. You also voice his characters in Deus Ex. Nice. Another voice actor who works on both series. She can hardly recognize him. He's in the exact same clothes. Yeah. But I guess he's grown up so much mentally. Yeah, I remember you doing some fishing with both of them the other day. And I can't wait to play Red Dead again as well. Definitely has to happen soon. Right. So that is all of the optional objectives, all the optional dialogues in the Mohawk village. We could actually do a Frontiersman mission, but I think I'm gonna wait with that until later. Just looking for Homestead missions and calf-like dialogues right now. Okay, no Homestead mission either. Alright, that means we are done with AC3 for today, I think. Unless sequence 5 and 6 is super short in Liberation. Because yeah, the next main story in AC3 would actually take place after sequence 5 and 6 of Liberation. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to take a break, and when I come back we will be heading into some Liberation and play those two sequences of a game. Because yeah, I believe the next year would be 1771 and 2, which is where both sequences take place. A shadow? It's the disco shadow, apparently. Now both sides. There's a party going on. Connor ain't amused. The liberation of New Orleans has begun. Indeed, dude. Indeed. Yeah, it's gonna be good going back into that game. However, I'm gonna be doing much less side stuff in Liberation, I decided. Just gonna focus on the main story, really. But yeah, let's go ahead and exit here. And yeah, then I shall be back in like 10 minutes or so, more or less. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Aura. I will. And yeah, I will catch you guys in just a few. It's definitely understandable. There's a lot of work to get done when doing everything. Yeah. In Liberation, you also have like the persona-specific missions and collectibles and stuff. So yeah, I just wanna spend more time focusing on the actual story, I think. But yeah, I will catch you guys in just a few.